Welcome to Redefining AI, where we explore the cutting edge of artificial intelligence and its impact on society. Now, today we've been joined by the author of the A-Z of Generative AI, a guide to leveraging AI for business, and this is Kieran Gilmurray. Now, our guest, Kieran Gilmurray, is an internationally acclaimed expert in AI, automation, GenAI, and digital transformation with 30 years of experience. As an author, industry analyst and real-world strategist, he's generated over 200 million in value for businesses through his innovative solutions and actionable strategies. Now, recognised as one of the top global experts in his field, Kieran regularly delivers keynote speeches worldwide, and he's also been named in prestigious lists such as the top 14 people to follow in data in 2023, the best LinkedIn influencers, artificial intelligence and marketing in 2024, and the world's top 200 business and technology innovators. His expertise, it certainly spans across developing data analytics, automation, process improvement, and emerging technologies solutions for medium to global scale organizations. He is, as we mentioned at the start, a published author with 2 practical books on AI and GenAI that break down complex technical concepts for business professionals. With leadership roles in FTSE 100 companies and a track record of building global intelligent automation centers, Kieran Gilmurray, he certainly continues to be a highly sought after consultant and advisor in the rapidly evolving world of digital transformation and artificial intelligence. So it's a great honour that we've got you on the show. So welcome, Kieran. Welcome to Redefining AI.
Thank you so much for inviting me today. I can't wait to get talking.
What does a day look like in your world?
What is the day? Can I use the word just busy?
Just busy.
Yeah, just busy, but in a good way. I'm trying to concentrate on all my clients at the moment who span multiple countries. You were asking me just before we were beginning, where have I been in the last couple of weeks? So in the last 2 weeks alone, I've been to Vegas, I've been to Munich, I'm off to Amsterdam, I've been to Dublin, and then I work with a lot of clients in London and beyond online every day of the week. Irish companies, European, name it, Lauren, I do it. But where my time is focused is trying to help clients make sense of automation and AI and to drive better business outcomes using business technology. And oddly enough, or not oddly enough, I link into some of the business management side of things, the coaching, the mentorship, and putting practices and processes in place to allow those businesses to operate at a high standard. So, the usual people, process, systems all go together. It's not one thing that makes an amazing enterprise. It's usually all 3, but fitting all 3 together or getting any and all to work sometimes is a challenge for business.
That is very true. I want to pick up on the semantics of, you said, make sense of automation and AI. Is it something that needs sort of analysis or a step up in helping people to understand? Is it ununderstandable, or why do people need help in making sense of automation and AI?
It varies, Lauren, a lot. If you look at different people have different knowledge of different things. Take finance for a second. Some of us can run our own bank accounts. Some of us can run a P&L and understand it and read it and understand how to be legally and innovatively finance savvy to do better things, deliver more profit for business. Technology is an amazing discipline. If I look at all the things that have impacted business and society over the last 50, 70 years, maybe even 100, it's technological progress. That doesn't mean that everyone is or are as competent with IT as they might be, despite the proliferation of tech. Owning an iPhone does not make you a cloud architect. Using Netflix does not make you an AI expert. And therefore, what tends to happen is you'll have experts who are real, experts who are probably not so real. You'll have a lot of market knowledge out there, particularly AI and GenAI at the moment, that's saying this is the best thing that ever existed. And you have a lot of people running toward this, spending a lot of money, spending a lot of time, and you want the best for them. So when I say they don't understand it, it's all of those and beyond. So I might understand the technology, but how do I implement in a way that gets me amazing business outcomes? Because very often tech and business don't understand each other. I bridge that gap. The other piece here is actually, how do I understand where I should invest my money? What tech? Is it ChatGPT or is it Claude AI or something else that I need to be putting my money into? Because again, you don't want to waste money. It's a lot of cash. And therefore, I've seen too many times over the years, transformation projects going to pot, people wasting a lot of money because they don't understand the tech. They jump in, some vendor or supplier has promised them the world, and obviously one technology can't do everything. You remember, go back in the day for RPA, it could change everything, do every job. Of course it can't. And that's why I wrote my first book in digital transformation. I got frustrated with people being told things that weren't true, not understanding it, wasting money, and everything in between. So my job is, and the book is part of the reason for this. I don't make any money out of the book. The book's meant to put artificial intelligence and AI into language that anybody in business can understand, so that when they're coming to try and employ artificial intelligence, data analytics, or whatever else in their business, they know what they're doing. They know the business goal, and then they go and look at the technology, and then they find the right technology at the right price that allows them to be able to make a success or more likely success of a project. You can dip in, dip out. It's there for that purpose.
Yeah, because what I found interesting actually is, and this is in your own words, you state that it's not just another technical manual filled with jargon and a complex concept book. Instead, it's a comprehensive guide that's designed specifically for non-technical readers. So this was an intentional action that you've decided that there is an opportunity to help support the non-technical reader.
Yeah, look, so the answer, yes, is the very short answer. First book, second book was exactly that. I've seen books written, and again, no criticism to the author. Everybody does what they do themselves. They write a highly technical manual and techie people use it. Great. That's what your book is about. Fantastic. I've seen authors write books and the book is for them, not for anyone else. And that's okay too. You know, whatever brings you joy, go for it. I've been in business for 30 years and I've seen people get confused by tech. I've seen people waste money. I want businesses to do well. I have an absolute passion. And one of my mantras, if you spend enough time with me, is all boats rise on a floating tide. And therefore, I want people to use technology to create better businesses, to create more jobs, to create a bigger economy, create that bigger pie. And it's not IT people who are going to make all that happen. You know, great technology plus great people makes a great business. So realistically, you need your IT people understanding what's there, but you need your business people primarily. You're talking about your CEO, your CTO, your head of HR, your head of procurement. This book is not written for IT people. Now, you can pick it up in IT land and you will learn a lot, but it's not going into the bits and bytes. It's not going into, you know, hex code or anything else. It literally sits at the business level. So anybody can pick it up and go, actually, now I understand that. I understand those terms. I understand what I should do. I understand how I could scale it. I understand the risks, so I'll prepare myself not to make those things happen. And literally, if you're going to put AI, data analytics into your business, read that book first. You will have a great deal of understanding, so you're on a level playing field with your supplier, your vendor, whatever it is, your knowledge. And then go ahead. Here's a great business opportunity. Here's some great technology that might be suitable. Put those two things together, create a better business, secure jobs for yourself, build a bigger market, do whatever it is that you can do to move forward, not wasting money, but maximizing every penny you've got where you're going to invest in technology.
Mm-hmm. And obviously in writing this, I mean, this particular book, the one that we're forefronting, is about generative AI. And with that, in actually targeting the business that you've highlighted, the various leaders, all of the individuals that are involved in the business matrix, there's possibly and most likely some larger misconceptions that you're addressing in particular that is associated with the generative AI field in particular and not AI. So what are those, or what are the biggest misconceptions about generative AI that you've encountered among business leaders, specifically those?
Yeah, without getting too technical, that's always the danger. At a very high level, generative AI has been brilliant for AI because it's reignited a passion around an industry and it's reignited an awareness of what artificial intelligence can do. The challenge that I'm seeing at high level, though, is that everybody is claiming that generative AI, this is the hype phase. You ever notice the Gartner curve? If anybody doesn't recognize that, go to the Gartner hype cycle. We are truly in a hype cycle where the technology itself could not possibly do what everyone is saying. So, for example, it is amazing at creating content. I can go in tomorrow morning, I can say, look, I want a full-blown marketing plan and social media plan for my business. Here's the ideal client portfolio. Here's my competitor websites. Here's some information on the sales and the targeting and the work that we've done to date. Could you please write me a plan and give me a content calendar? Brilliant. I have an away day. It's in London. It's near Covent Garden. Here's the things that I would like to get up to. Here's the, brilliant. It will go and produce all the content that you would ever want. Not all of it's real. You have something called hallucinations. In other words, back in the day when we talked to a chatbot, this isn't a chatbot. The interface to get at it is conversational. Hence why I'm saying that. The computer said, no, we got frustrated. This has been designed to give you an answer regardless of what. And there's risks. And 2 lawyers in the US, if folks look into this, went to court with 6 legal precedents defending an airline, and the judge threw it out. Why? Because they'd used ChatGPT. ChatGPT had tried its best to give them an answer, but had made up or hallucinated legal cases that didn't exist. They got sacked. The court threw out the case. The airline suing, obviously, the law firm, and. So again, hallucinations exist. But if you were to read it, it can do everything, take every action. It can't do actions. Now we got agentics, now we got large action models. From content creation to actually doing something with it, that will come. So for example, if you and I are in and we're looking at a holiday on a popular holiday website, we press buttons, we book the payments, we go to the next action, we do things with the data that we've got. Large language models, generative AI, can't quite do that as gloriously as we might, despite agentics and large action models, they're coming. So again, step back. It's going to create great content. It's not really going to be able to do end-to-end actions. The other bit I heard is, look, if you put this in, it'll create a retention model. So I'm an insurance company. I can use AI to run algorithms or code on my existing client data, and I can look for trends and patterns in that data. And what I can do is, based on all of the customers that I've got, based on all of the prices, based on how long they've been with us, how frequently or recently they bought stuff from us and how much they spent, and how much we've put their price up or down over the last couple of years, I can say, will they stay or will they go? Everybody's going, that's Gen AI, that's Gen AI. It's not. That's old AI. That's normal AI. And even AI itself, this is the funny bit, everybody's now getting excited. This is AI, it's great, it's new. It's not. It's an 80-year-old overnight success story. Now we happen to have hit a time where generative AI, as I mentioned, really starts to excite us. Why is it exciting us? Well, back in the day when I was doing that retention model in a broker company, I had to hire 13 PhDs, spend an inordinate amount of months and years building out all of these models and data sets and everything else just to answer one question. What will I charge my customers? Now, it was very profitable because when we knew it, bang, amazing, we made a lot of money. And that was okay. But to access the power of AI or great decision insight, it took 13 PhDs, it took a database, it took an IT team, it took 12, 14, 18 months, and. Now, when I go into generative AI, and I did it a couple of weeks ago, I got anonymized data. I opened up ChatGPT. Remember, folks, you can use other things, Gemini, Bing, Bard, whatever it is. I dragged in a mathematics GPT. I fed in anonymous data, and it came back with a great scoring engine around, retention. But you didn't need Gen AI to do it. So again, I see companies going out selling Gen AI to do this. It's ordinary AI, but Gen AI can do that. In the same afternoon, I wanted it to work with me, Lauren, to help me craft a document and a letter and a proposal I was writing to my client. Guess what? I just went in and typed a new thing, a prompt or an instruction. It did that. The other day I was writing an email to someone, but before I sent an email, I wanted to check my language and I wanted to check it would resonate with the customer I was writing to. Guess what? The Gen AI or ChatGPT or Gemini application that I was using, it did that as well. It did all of this for $20, not the million that it cost me 20 years ago. So we're getting excited now because we've got this digital assistant that can do amazing things, but it can't do everything. You have companies now doing what I describe as overhyping it, saying it can do everything and take every action and eat your dinner and make your lunch and grow your business. It humanly can't. Not all technology can do that. You need a digital toolkit. I call that AI washing, promising and putting the word Gen AI on the end of your product, claiming it is it's the latest, hottest thing just to get people to spend money. So all those things are happening. And this book, my articles that I write constantly are all about calling out, look, this is amazing tech, but here's what Gen AI can do and can't do at this moment. Here's the risks and here's the benefits. Here's the things you should be doing, but be careful when you're over here. Here's what AI is. Here's what data analytics is. Here's what automation is. Here's what, whatever else is, just to make it more palatable, to make it more understandable to everyone in business so they know what they're actually spending the money on. They're applying the right technology at the right moment to the right business opportunity or business problem, and they don't waste money and they don't waste time. They build better businesses, And that's great for all of us and the economy.
Mm-hmm. So in motion and that from a subjective perspective, and you've mentioned a couple of times that obviously you're responsible for bridging this gap between AI technologies or AI concepts and also business professionals. And you do this through your books. You've mentioned your articles, possibly newsletters, talks. Do you see that, and obviously that's multiple avenues of expressive opportunities for individuals to educate themselves. And again, we're going back to education in terms of there is this necessity to be somewhat AI literate, GenAI literate, digitally literate. Is this something that lies at the fundament of what you're motioning as an individual with this subjective outlet to create opportunity for a more mature, be it AI, digital, or whatever, literacy?
Yeah, look, teaching's a passion of mine. I love coaching. I love mentorship. I'm a qualified teacher. I'm a qualified executive coach. And the best things that I'm passionate about learning, by the way, and the best things that ever happened to me is education and learning. It's a key makeup of me. Back in the day when I started out, the only people who ever made money were lawyers, doctors, and solicitors. That was the job to be in. And you could only ever do that if you were in a particular town, knew a particular person, and maybe it was your dad, your aunt, and your uncle, and it opened up the opportunities for a very narrow number. The rest of us were going to be plumbers, postmen, or teachers, or something else. But technology has democratized, almost employment. It's created jobs and opportunities for people like no other. Now IT professionals are paid amazing amounts of money. And rather than having to move to London or Canberra or Washington to actually get a job back in the day, now we can work from anywhere and earn the money, stay in our communities, and. I help a couple of companies do that, startups, unemployment groups, and whatever else, because that's just me as a person.
That's good,
Teachers in me, the passions in me to want to help people. The frustrations in me when I know originally I spent 50,000 on a RPA project that wasn't very successful right up until the end. Boy, did I learn out of that. I go, hold on, you cannot be charging people these ridiculous amounts of money to do something that with a little bit of knowledge allows people to make much better decisions to allow them to be more successful. So I have the teacher in me, I have the coach, I have the frustration where people get ripped off. I hate that. I'm a huge fan of fairness. All those outlets are also a creative method for me, or a creative outlet. I like to write. I like to do video. I like to do audio. And as I'm doing these things, I do it with a purpose. And my purpose is to try and help people. So I give it away in an inordinate amount of information and knowledge. Why? Well, why not? Do you know what I mean? I go back to all boats rise. I've learned things over the years from other people. Why wouldn't I share it? I think if we spent a bit of time in life sharing what we know, then more people, more businesses, more everyone would actually benefit from that knowledge. I'm not suggesting as business people we give it all away, because ultimately we have to eat. But I think people appreciate what's been given away. I think we're in a user-generated society. I think we're in a society where we can give away a lot of value. And from a personal perspective, fantastic. And from a business perspective, I've won all those awards. I'm recognized as an industry expert. And companies from all over the world come and try and talk to me every single day to ask me, will I get involved? Will I help them? Will I coach, mentor, whatever else? So from a personal point of view, it brings me joy. You give, you get in this universe. From a business perspective, great. I can earn some money to have a lifestyle that allows me to keep doing what I'm doing, to keep sharing all this information, and allows me to keep growing and learning as well at the same time. The bit is it's not about just giving out information, because see, when people interact with the content, challenge what I've said, add new narrative, introduce new ideas, oh my God, that plays to my need to and want to learn all the time and to grow. And then all that knowledge goes back into future content, hopefully other people can learn from as well.
And we're talking about giving away value in the contribution that you're making to the ecosystem. You and I are immersed in the ecosystem, so we have a somewhat slightly tainted view of what might be reality and non-reality outside of this ecosystem. In looking at what is value, how do you personally filter through the noise? I mean, it's a very fast-moving field. Do you have a process that you sort of stick to and identifying truly significant developments in AI versus these passing trends? I mean, we've looked at, and I think it was just last week that, again, Gartner had published the hype cycle. We can see what is very much on the progress of illumination. I mean, how much time do you dedicate to exploring what is presented in the ecosystem and analysing, oh, that is valuable, I can see value in that, and how?
Yeah, great question. Like I read, learn, watch, consume knowledge, as I call it, every single day. So I get up at 6 in the morning and I read for 35, 45 minutes. During the day, I might dedicate time to reading a white paper and this is the joy of being connected to someone like you or the community or social media. I see all the conversations. I'm in lots of WhatsApp groups. Around me, people are seeking opinions and giving opinions. They're testing and reviewing the products and everything else. So all that is knowledge of other people's perceptions, uses, and whatever else. And then this is where I go back to, and you said at the start, real world implementer, tester, whatever. I've done technology for 30 years. Very often there's no new tech. I was a head of data science for 13 years, 10 years ago. So having made the mistakes, and I think we all have to admit we make mistakes. That's how we gain knowledge. I know the things that are being done now. I know what will or won't work, from an AI perspective. Then it's just learning more about AI, reading about large action models, agentics, reading how one model is different than another, looking up different business use cases, talking to people that I know. What have you done? How did it work? Why didn't it work? So when you understand how to dig yourself out of a hole, then you tend not to do it. Or when you do, you get out slightly quicker. So it's a constant learning, but a whole load of experience. And again, sometimes there's a phrase, Lauren, I use, there's no new technologies. Now, AI, 80-year-old overnight success story, RPA and automation, go back in the day when that was overhyped, called hyper automation, intelligent automation. It could do everything. Of course it can't. Nothing in the world can do absolutely everything. Now we've got GenAI that can do everything. 20 years ago, we had ERP, CRM, all these things could do everything. Overhyped, oversold. Once you spend time with the technologies, you don't get excited by them. Now, I love technology. What I'm excited about is business. And I go, there's no new business problems. There's new business opportunities. There's new ways of working. You can apply technology to it. I get de-escalate the excitement and interest in technology because it's brilliant and it's exciting and it's new and it's shiny for me still. I can't imagine being in any other industry. But I calm myself down and go, look, what is the business opportunity we're trying to grab? What is the business problem we're trying to solve? Now, what is the customer experience or the customer journey like? Or where is the customer going to need to be? Or where we need to be to meet their needs? Where do I need to put great people? Where do I need to put great technology to allow us to deliver a service where at key moments of truth, we have the best of technology, the best of people, or whatever else it needs to be, so that we can deliver a service in a way that people adore or want with the least possible friction. Not everything has to be I have to clap my hands and get my pom-poms out once I've bought or filled my car up with fuel, for example. But how can I do something that delivers value that customers want, where I can earn a margin on top of that, so that we can continue investing and building a business, and technology will be a part of that, and great people will be a part of that. And sometimes it's about putting the people in, sometimes it's about putting the tech, sometimes it's a combination of two, sometimes it's about getting rid of the technology. But now I understand the business problem, the opportunity. Now I'm going after the tech. Too many companies I see find nice and shiny tech. If I've heard one board in the last numbers of months saying, Kieran, I don't care what you do, just get me GenAI so that I can tell my chairman that I'm actually happy with my chairwoman. It's unreal. I refuse to deal with those companies. It's just not morally in me to waste their money. Start with the business opportunity or problem, work your way all the way back to tech, find the tech that suits, that maps to the business problem, find a supplier that maps to you and your culture and your values at a price that you can afford, knowing they're going to stay in the market and it's going to be there. Do all that and you end up with a really great business, and now you can get excited about what you've built.
Have you seen that? Have you ever seen that? I mean, you've been in business for 30 years and there's this triage, but there's this triage, as you've mentioned a couple of times now. Great people, great tech. They've identified the business opportunity, the business problem. Does that triage exist in a golden, illuminated light of this is the success story because we've got all of these three corners covered?
Look, it's a bit like a three-legged stool, Lauren. Once you get all three legs right, yes. I have seen it lots of times. I've actually delivered it lots of times, not early in my career, because we all make mistakes as we grow and learn. If we don't keep learning, we're going to do this, we'll fall behind. But I get called in very often, and sadly more often than I do to come in and say, let's just start from scratch. What should we do? I get brought in a hell of a lot to fix problems. And I'm looking at it from that lens, which is going, here's our technology. We've spent a fortune. You're going, yeah, it's a bit like using a cricket bat to play golf. It ain't going to work, folks. And I'm really sorry. Here's the technology, but who's going to implement it? Well, what do you mean we need BAs and PMs and a data scientist and so? Does it not just work? The vendor told us that this was going to happen. Then the next one is, look, we brought in great tech. We're moving in the right direction. Okay, who have you trained? Who have you got the skills? Where's your change management or your communication journey that's telling all these people that, here's why it's exciting. Here's why you should come on this journey with us. Have you actually engaged them or your customers in this particular business problem? And sometimes, no, we bought the tech. We were told this is great. I remember I'm playing golf golf with my friend and she said, so I come across all sorts of stuff every day. Some of it is funny, but it wouldn't be so funny if it wasn't so serious, because there's, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands and millions involved. So my job is, as a professional, when you hire me, if you hire me and bring me in at the start of something and say, look, we haven't gone on our digital transformation journey. Is it too late? No, too late is tomorrow and not doing anything. What should we do? Okay, well, let's start looking at your product and your market and your customers, and then let's go and design that and put in customer journeys. Let's get your people, your process, your systems correct, and make sure they're agile so that, you're not sticking yourself in the mud forever. But more often than not, as I said, I get brought in when there's problems. So then I'm starting diagnosing everything that's in place to get a view of the current state. I look at their business strategy to work out where they should be playing or want to play, and how technology can actually help them play differently, for all those companies who don't have a website, an app, or whatever else, if it's appropriate. Then again, we go off on that digital journey as well. So the first one's ideal. The second one is more often where we get brought in, and I don't blame people. They're oversold, they're overexcited, technology's overhyped, it's a lack of experience. Look, it is what it is. You bring in a plumber to fix stuff in your house when you don't know what you're doing. You bring in an IT expert who has, 30 years of experience, who knows business and technology and people and systems and processes to help you out. I'll help you out in whatever shape, form, or whatever you want to help you create a successful business. You can leverage all the mistakes that I've made over the years, because now I don't make them, and we'll help you get to where you want to be. So no money wasted, maximize the outcomes.
Sounds like the perfect piece of the puzzle, and we want to thank you for giving us value here today on Redefining AI. Thanks very much, Kieran, for being with us.
Delighted. Look, if I can help anyone, please follow the content. As I said, I give away huge amounts. Go to my LinkedIn or go to kierangilmurray.com. It's all there. But brilliant to be on it, Lauren, and great to see you again. I wish everyone every success in all of their IT projects, AI or otherwise.
And I'd like to thank everyone who's joined this conversation today and been with us in this episode. Thank you.